Okay, so last week we talked about 4 financial statements, right? So we did everything in order to prepare for financial statements. If you finish your homework, it's good. If you haven't, it's okay. The first hour, I think I didn't give you enough time to understand or finish the 4 financial statements. So our first hour, I'll give you the time. Try to finish your 4 financial statements by yourself, okay? So remind you again, our first financial statement is what? Is Statement of Comprehensive Income, 综合损益表. Remember, each financial statement want to provide you different information. Yeah, if all the financial statements provide the same information, then what's the point? We prepare 4 financial statements, right? So we have 4 financial statements in order to provide you 4 different kind of informations. So for your first financial statement, Statement of Comprehensive Income, what kind of information we want to provide? For creditors, investors, when they look at the first financial statement, Statement of Comprehensive Income, they will get some information. So what kind of information you can get from first financial statement? Revenue minus expenses, you got net income. Plus or minus other comprehensive income, we got comprehensive income. So what kind of information we want to get? Profit. Your company do the business. After you've done the whole year job, whole year work, we want to know how much money, what's the revenue you earn from customers. In order to earn the revenues, we have some expenses incurred, right? So after your revenue and expenses, we want to know what's the profit we really can get from the business, okay? So first financial statement, the point is we want to know the profit. Okay? So whether your company make money or not. So the first financial statement could let you understand whether your company made the money or not. Okay? So that's the first information. That's the information you can get from your first financial statements. Okay? Also the numbers. We have the revenues. We have the expenses. We have the profits. All the numbers on your first financial statements, all the numbers told you what did you do this year. So give you the numbers, amounts for this year, okay? So the amounts told you what's the revenue you earn this year, what's the profit you earn this year. So the numbers right here is for this year, 1 year. Okay? Any questions? So based on this, please look at, we have the data, 100% the data already, right? From where? From your adjusted trial balance, right? So please look at the data you already have on your note, page 27. So on your note, page 27, what's that? Adjusted trial balance, 调整后试算表. So what does it mean? After we use adjusting entries, we finish the 10% transactions from your chapter 3, right? So right now when you look at this table, all the data right here should be 100% correct, right? So you should use the data right here, 100% correct. Right now, please prepare your first financial statement. So if you haven't finished yet, It's okay. So look at your page 27. The data you already have, right? 100% correct. And use that to what? To finish your first financial statement. What's that? Statement of comprehensive income. So right here on your page 28. Page 28. This is your first financial statement. Okay, so finish page 28. This is our first financial statement, statement of comprehensive income, right? After you write down all the revenues you have, expenses you have, then you will figure out what's your net income, your profit you have. So I'll get the profit I have, okay? And for other comprehensive income, we've mentioned last week, usually other comprehensive income, we put our revenues or our expenses, our gain or our loss out of your control. So what does it mean? You cannot control it. You cannot make decision whether you can get a gain or loss, okay? So the most common case is change in foreign currency exchange translation, 汇率变动产生的损益。So right here we assume is zero. So we assume is zero for your OCI. So after you got your net income plus zero, you can get your final amount, overall profit you got for the whole year. That's your net income plus OCI. So means what? That's your overall profit you got for the whole year. Okay? So please finish. I can just give you 10 minutes because we want to finish 3 financial statements for this first hour. Then the other 2 hours, we have to go to the next chapter. Dora, finish? Then why are you looking at me? So finish first one. We need the data to prepare the second one. So if you didn't finish the first one, you cannot continue the second one. So if the first hour you didn't finish the first hour, let me check. You cannot get your extra point. Actually, that's your homework, right? So I give you the time, the first hour, trying to have you finish your homework. So you cannot finish the first hour, you cannot get your extra point. Any questions? Raise your hand, let me know. Just look at the data you already have from your adjusted trial balance and put the numbers on your financial statements. Remember, for financial statements, forget about debit credits, because for outsiders, for investors, for creditors, they don't understand debit credit. Debit credit is for you. You're recording the transactions. You need to understand debit credit. But for financial statements, that's for outsiders. Outsiders don't need debit credit, okay? So here we don't have debit credit for your financial statements. We don't have. You just copied your final numbers to here. That's it. So here we have only final numbers. We don't need debit credit for your financial statements. Remember that. Debit credit, that's for insiders, not outsiders. So no debit credit. Understand, you can ask your classmates or ask me. Just raise your hand. So prepare financial statements, not that difficult. You just put the related numbers into your related financial statements. That's it. 你可以不写，没关系。I give it a little hint how to write down. We need all detailed information. So you just copied the data from your adjusted trial balance. So you look at your adjusted trial balance. You will find out your service revenue. You have only one service revenue. But how many expenses you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 expenses. So just look at these 5 expenses from your adjusted trial balance, okay? Because we need the details. So based on the details, 5 expenses, you add up together, you will get what? Your total expenses. So total expenses is $7,700. So here, first column right here is not that big. We prefer for details, we put it into first column to get a subtotal, the details, and put the total number in the second column to make the format clear. That's it. So it's not that big crazy. We use that, try to make the format clear. Okay? So details on first column. Then your totals on second column. So did you find out on financial statements, we don't have debit credit. We don't have. Because outsiders don't need to understand debit credit. Okay? So that's why I use total revenue minus total expenses and got the profit we earned this year. So what's the profit you earned this year? $2,900. Okay, so the net income is what? Because you worked so hard this year. You worked so hard this year, do the business with customers. So you earn the profit, $2,900. When you work so hard this year to earn the profit from customers. Okay? So that's your part 1. Remember? That's your part 1. How about part 2? Gain or loss out of your control. That's your part 2. So OCI is your part 2. So what's that? This part out of your control. Okay? And for our cases, we don't have this part. So that's why we assume it's 0, because we don't have the related data. We don't have the related data for our case right now. So we assume it's 0. So no matter it's part 1 or it's part 2, no matter how you got your profit, because you work harder, got your profit, or because you do nothing, you got your profit, no matter what, all of them are yours, right? So comprehensive income is the overall profit you earned. So it's $2,900 plus 0. Any questions? So that's how we prepare our first financial statements. So based on this, I note our company made the money this year. So you are a good company or not? Of course, you made a profit at least. So you are not bad, right? You earn some money this year. Any questions? Based on this, we need the data to prepare our second financial statement. So if you didn't finish the first one, it's quite hard for you to finish the second one. Okay? Any questions? So first financial statement right here, you know your company made the profit, made the money this year. Okay? Based on this, we are going to prepare our second one. So what's our second one? We want to know shareholders' rights in the company. So for the second one, shareholders' rights in the company. So what's that? Statement of change in equity, 股东权益变动表. Statement of change in equity, 股东权益变动表. So all the numbers right here, what kind of information we can get from second one? Tell you shareholders' right in the company. So there's a second information we want to tell users. So right here tell you shareholders' right in the company. Okay? So look at this. You will note in the company how much belong to shareholders. Then from what kind of reasons? Two major reasons, right? First is what? Share capital. So first reason is from share capital. So this is the first reason, share capital. So what does it mean, share capital? Shareholders invested in your company, right? Shareholders put their money into your company. So that's first reason. What's the second reason? Retained earnings. This is the second reason. So what does it mean, retained earnings? The profit you made for shareholders, they still retained in the company. Okay? So what does it mean? The profit retained in the company, kept in the company. So let's retain earnings. So what's the profit not in the company? We give it to shareholders already. What's that? The profit your company made not in the company. We give it to shareholders. What we call dividends, right? If you remember, what does it mean, dividends? Dividends is the profit we give to shareholders already. So that's dividends. So dividend, what does it mean? The profit gave to shareholders already. Okay? So there's two major reasons. Two major reasons. Shareholders have the right in the company. Okay? The third one is what? Accumulating other comprehensive income. So remember, what does it mean? From your OCI, if you remember OCI, what does it mean, OCI? OCI is what? OCI from your first financial statement told you out of your control. So even though out of your control you got a profit, still profit belong to whom? shareholders. So no matter how you got the profit, all the profit belong to your boss, right? Your boss is shareholders. So this is the third major reason. Accumulated OCI. So it's accumulated OCI. Okay? So means that's the profit out of your control. Okay? So three major reasons we got shareholders' right in the company. So when I look at the second one, I note how much money belongs to shareholders in the company. So this is the details tell us. Okay? Beginning balance from last year. So how to prepare this financial statement? We use beginning plus what happened this year, you got ending. So your beginning is A, for example. The first day, what happened? The first day, shareholders had the right in the company already, right? The whole year, we worked so hard trying to increase our shareholders' money, right? So what happened? So investment by shareholders, net income, and OCI and dividends. That's what happened this year. So what happened this year? Okay? So first day, consider what happened this year. So what's the number you can get? Ending balance, right? After the whole years, right now, totally, how much belong to your shareholders? So that's ending inventories. So we have the C. What's the C? Ending balance. So means what? Beginning balance. Plus what? What happened this year? So change this year. Okay? So the only information we want to provide is shareholders' rights in the company. So we will consider the first day, how much belong to them. This year, what happened? Then totally, what's the total right they have in the company? So ending balance told you the total right they have in the company. So ending balance told you total right they have in the company. Okay? But when you prepare these, two items should be very careful. What are these two items? Net income, other comprehensive income. These two items, you can get the data from your first financial statement, right? Net income, you got the numbers already, right? From where? First financial statement. Other comprehensive income, you got the number from where? First financial statement already. So for these two items, you can get the numbers from your first financial statement. So for these two, you can get the data from your first financial statement. Others, how to get the data? From your adjusted trial balance. Okay, so please finish your page 28. Page 28. Your second financial statement. So finish this one. Your second financial statement, statement of change in equity. I give you the beginning balance already. We assume this is company's first year. So I assume all the beginning balance are 0 because I assume this is the first year of the company. So your beginning balance is 0. Okay? And for your net income, remember, net income, you can get the data from where? From your first financial statement. Others, you get the data from your adjusted trial balance. Okay? From your first financial statement, what's your net income? First financial statement told you your net income is what? $2,900, right? From your first financial statement told you your net income is $2,900 already. So that's how we just copied the number right here, $2,900. Okay? Others, just look at your adjusted trial balance. Adjusted trial balance will told you. Okay? Wow. If you don't understand, look at that. Wow. Try to finish it because that's our purpose. You did the job the whole year. You learned how to record the transactions. Our purpose is trying to get this. If you understand what does that mean for each financial statements, then in the future, if you want to do some investment, you have to look at each company's financial statements to figure out is good or bad company, right? So if you don't understand each item's definition, meanings, then in the future, how could you make sure you can buy some company's shares or not? Okay? Finish it? Okay. If you finish, this is the answer. You can double check it. $10,000. Look at your adjusted trial balance. Told you. Adjusted trial balance told you. What's the number? Remember, what's the number? It's your share capital, right? So look at, look at your adjusted trial balance right here. Where? Here told you, share capital, $10,000, right? So what does it mean? Investors buy your shares. Investor invested in your company, $10,000, right? So that's how we got the numbers, $10,000. So this is your share capital. The net income, you got the number from where? Your first financial statement. Dividends. How you got dividends? From your adjusted trial balance told you. You had dividends, $500, right? So here, where? Here. Dividends, $500 for your dividends. So that's how we got the numbers, $500. Okay? Then how to get your ending balance? Beginning plus what happened this year, you got ending balance, right? So how to get your $10,000? Right here? Yeah. 括号代表减的意思 minus. So here, how to get your ending balance is your beginning 0 plus what happened this year, $10,000, right? That's how we got final amount. How about your retained earnings? $2,400. Your beginning, what's your beginning? Oh, 0. Then, net income made your profit increase, right? So net income made your profit increase $2,900. But we gave $500 to shareholders. So that's why your profit kept in the company decreased $500. Okay? So that's how we got final amount for your retained earnings. So it's your beginning retained earnings plus net income minus dividends. Okay, any questions? So after you use the data to prepare it, you will note shareholders' right totally how much? From share capital, $10,000. So what does it mean, $10,000? They totally invested in your company, $10,000. So retained earnings, $2,400. What does it mean? Totally, their profit retained in the company, $2,400. So no matter from first reason, second reason, third reason, total right in the company is $12,400, right? So total equity, what does it mean? Total equity right here means their total right in the company. That's total equity. Their total right in the company. Okay? So you got $12,400 is what? based on share capital plus retained earnings plus AOCI. So it's $10,000 plus 2,400 plus 0. Okay? Any questions? Did you find out? When we prepare financial statements, we don't care about debit credit because outsiders don't care about debit credit. Debit credit only for you to record transactions. We use debit credit. When we prepare accounting output, they don't care debit credit. They just care final result. Okay, any questions for this one? If no problem for this one. Right now, we want to provide the third information. So what's the third information? Balance sheet. For statement of financial position, 财务状况表, balance sheet, what kind of information we want to tell users, creditors, investors? The company's value, okay? So from here, we want to provide information about the company's value. 公司的价值。Okay, so right here, the third one, we want to tell you company's value. So how to find out your company's value? You have to look at the company's assets and liabilities. So right here, we have three major items. So what are these three major items? First is assets. Second is liabilities. Third is equity. Why we have to report equity? Don't forget, the company belongs to whom? Shareholders, right? So all the assets, all the liabilities belong to shareholders. So that's why, of course, we have to tell you equity, because all the assets, liabilities, the companies belong to shareholders. Okay, so three major items we have is asset, liability, equity. So the third one will tell you the company's value. So you are the big company or you are the small company. Look at the third one. You will note how many assets you have, how many liabilities you have, okay? So you just write down all the assets, write down all the liabilities, write down all the equities. Then the numbers right here, remember the numbers right here, all the numbers right here are your ending balance, because we want to know the company's value, of course, on last day, right? So maybe from the first year to right now, after 5 years, what's your company's value? So that's why all the numbers right here are your ending balance. So all the numbers right here, they are your ending balance. 期末余额。Okay, any questions? after you prepare this, tell you one hint how to double check you got the numbers, the correct numbers. We have only one accounting equation, right? So what's the only one accounting equation? Asset equal to liability plus equity, right? So right here, assets equal to liability plus equity. This is how you could double check whether you did the right thing. So here remind you how to double check you got the correct numbers. You just use assets equal to liability plus equity. Okay? So use these three numbers. You could double check whether you did the right thing or not. Okay? Another one, want to remind you, don't forget equity. The number right here, equity, is ending balance, right? Where we got ending balance already from your second one, right? So for your equity, it's easier. You prepare this part just from your second financial statement. Because you got all the equities number from your second financial statement, right? So since you have the numbers already, you just put it right this part. Okay? So please finish your page 29. This is the last one. Okay, if you finish page 29, let me check. Get your extra point, then you can take a break.